So hopefully you saw some of the games today, especially the early ones. So I woke
Yeah.
up and my wife wanted to go eat, and then we had some errands to do. So Sam's Club, Old Navy, get some
Uh,
shopping out of the way. By the time we
ish.
got back, it was 12:30. So I don't know how your day how your day was.
It went better than that. I always have to explain to my wife, it's Sunday. Remember, there's football. I try to get all the stuff in on Saturday or earlier, but before the games, just so I'm ready to sit down and watch the games and not have any issues with the wife. So I'm lucky that way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I didn't have to deal with that. So I watched most of the early games.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do is get my errands out of the way Saturday morning, and then I had one of the worst work days ever on Saturday,
Yeah,
and that
I bet.
sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna welcome everybody to the Valley Sports Podcast. This is week
Dallas
2.
sports.
I'm your host today, Z. Missing my heterosexual life partner, McDreamy. He's out, and I'm joined today
McDreamy's
by
gone.
Grady, my brother from another mother. How you doing,
Ve-
Grady?
Very good, very good. Representing the west side of the valley here.
Okay. Okay. So first game we have Carolina at Arizona. Now it's tough to kind of gauge how good Arizona is because their first two opponents haven't really been that good. But
I
you can
agree.
only play who the schedule puts in front of you. You can only beat who is in front of you. And I think what this game showed was that offense can be dominant at times. No, again, it's Carolina. It's not like, one of these playoff contender or one of these other kind of better teams with a better defense. But it looked like Harrison, Murray, they're having a better connection. They have more chemistry this year. McBride, he kind of had, let me see, I'm going to look up the game real quick. Um, but for this game, I was just mainly looking at the Cardinals defense just to see what um, what they're going to do. And I know I'm kind of going fast forwarding to the end of the game, but with I think it was like 4 minutes left or 4.5 minutes left, and that defense getting back on the field. And again, it's kind of hard to gauge because the referees were really interfering with this game. I would have to say,
Yeah, I would have to say that too. I agree.
and but I did like what I saw. So what I keep looking at, even with the Saints game, would last year's defense, the Cardinals defense, would they have given up, um, a score to either tie it or let Carolina go ahead? And I think they would because I think this Carolina team actually beat the Cardinals in Carolina last year. And it was nice to see that defense kind of hold up. So I don't know. Did you kind of see that too with the Cardinals defense?
I think their defense is, yeah, I think I would agree with you on their defense. I think their defense, they missed a few tackles today, which I was kind of surprised of. They've been missing a lot of tackles lately. Um, and I think their defense was a lot more physical last year. I personally think they were a lot more physical, but it's only game two though. It's only game two, and I think that that can change up. There's a long season, but they still have room to improve for sure. As far as their offense goes, the Cardinals offense, Kyler Murray, he always surprises me. I always underestimate the guy, and he still comes up with these plays where it's like I don't know if he can play in structure and just sit back in the pocket and just rip it, or if he has to move out because of his size. But it's always like it's like watching a circus with this guy all the time. But it's entertaining. I got to say, it's entertaining. But
Yeah, he had over 200 yards passing, and I think you're
right, he had
right. Like
220.
when you when you watch him and you hear the heights of some of the offensive linemen, you're like 6'5", 6'6", whatever.
Yeah,
And how does this 5'10" dude see? I mean, he does have to scoot back. And if you ever
hmm
see him run, his legs are so fast when he
yeah, yeah,
runs.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing when he scoots back, when he drops
Uh-huh.
back to pass. So it almost looks
Uh-huh.
like he's taking like maybe 10 steps back.
the guy gets the job done. I mean, I don't know what to say about him. He's always uh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about him, but I know that with this team and with the people he has around him, they could be successful. They could do. They could even, dare I say, take the division. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I actually have a bet with one of our managers that the Cardinals will have a better record than the Niners.
Yeah,
And
it's very
actually,
possible.
the Seahawks are a little surprising now too. I know they lost to the Niners at
Hmm.
home, but they played them tough. They beat a Steelers team that's they're not your dad's Steelers. They don't have a very good defense. I said that
No,
from
they don't.
that first game where the Jets scored like 30 points. This is
Hmm.
bad. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking. But let's see. I'm looking at the rushing. So the rushing yards are a little underwhelming. So
yeah, they are.
it looked like they just didn't get too many plays here. So
It looks like Connor only got 34 yards rushing. Is that right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
30, yeah, above 30. I'm just kind of worried about James Conner because this is the second game where
Hmm.
he had under 50 yards both games. So I don't know if he's 100% or if defenses are just keying in on him. But then that Saints game, Benson, he actually stepped it up. I think he had like over 60 yards rushing. Um, and then receiving, I know I thought Harrison and Murray were having better chemistry, but they only had
Definitely.
they only had two receptions there, or Harrison only had two receptions, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it
And then
is.
McBride still had his six.
Hmm.
Um, I know he had a holding penalty on a play, and it was just kind of like the Cardinals just got this win, and that's kind of all they needed to do. I know next week they do have the Niners, so that'll be an interesting test for them. Let's
I can
see
think.
here.
I think they've got a chance to beat the Niners this year. I honestly do. I mean, I, I wouldn't be surprised if they went in there and beat them.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be in San Francisco. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I think Purdy's still going to be out.
Hmm.
Kittles is still going to be out, the tight end. So the Niners are a little banged up. Uh, so we'll see
And
what this Cardinals team can do.
and how's McCaffrey doing? Is he healthy? I mean, I know he played today, but seems like he's not 100%.
Yeah, he played today. I didn't hear about him having any injuries, but that's one thing the Cardinals defense did have. The quarterback Melton, he
Hmm.
um, landed on his knee, and it looked kind of weird. Like he slammed his knee on the turf, and you could see it's almost like a golf swing. How you chunk, you could take
Yeah.
out a part of the grass in golf.
Ooh.
He did that with his knee,
Ooh.
so he was out the rest of
That's
the game.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. That's not a good yeah, that's not a good sight. That is
And then I
not
think there was
good.
a couple of other Cardinals that actually got hurt. So this
Well,
team,
yeah, I think that a lot of times, like the first couple of games of the season, teams don't like get in shape like they used to back in the day. They don't have the double sessions and they don't have like the long drawn out summer sessions. And there's a limited amount of time that they can practice in the summer. And I think that you're seeing that now in the NFL with a lot of teams that don't practice hard, that don't play their starters. These guys get injured when it comes time to play, and they're not physical enough. They don't start getting physical until like the fourth, fifth game of the season because that's when they start getting these calluses and they start getting worn in and they're ready to play. So I think a lot of these teams you can tell who trains hard during the preseason, who plays their starters during these preseason games. You can tell. You can definitely tell when it comes to injuries during the regular season.
yeah, that looked like, and the Cardinals, I don't think they did really play their starters. I think they played their backups a lot,
Hmm.
and it really showed that first game. I think the second game, um, I can't remember what the score was, but they jumped out to a big lead. It was 20 something to 3. So
Hmm.
that was encouraging at least. But
Yeah.
then you had the end of the game, also with the refs. kind of interfering. I mean, they were interfering with the game because, like I said, you can almost call a foul on any NFL play if you really
I
wanted
agree.
to. And it
Hmm.
just seemed like they were really taking advantage of that. And it was lopsided towards the Carolina Panthers. So it almost felt like the Cardinals were going up against the Panthers offense and the refs.
It seems like, and I don't know if it's just the beginning of the season for them too, and they're not like up to par yet. They need a couple of games to get right. But it seems like I can see why these people come up with the conspiracy theories about the refs in the NFL. You hear about that every year because there are problems with the officiating every year, especially in the beginning of the season. It's just horrific in a bunch of
Y-
different games.
Yeah, when I went to the Raiders Cardinals game, one of the guys in the stands, he had a funny
Yeah.
set. He wa- he said, "Get off your knees, ref! You're blowing the game." And I kept
Exactly.
thinking about that the whole time I was watching that
Yeah.
second half.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's conspiracy theories out there for a reason. I can't blame these people because the calls are just a joke sometimes. They really are, and it's sad because these guys, they're working so hard to win these games, and it ends up in the hands of some ref, and that's not cool. Yeah, yeah, I'm not liking that at all. They need to keep the flags in the pockets. All right, and next, I think up on the schedule, there are the San Francisco 49ers versus the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. San Francisco took that game. Brock Purdy was knocked out early, and we had a Mac Jones sighting. And that was a good game. That was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought San Francisco was going to go down to New Orleans. I don't have a lot of faith in New Orleans this year. I think they're kind of soft. Their coaching's kind of soft. I thought that San Francisco was going to go in there and roll, and they won the game, but the Saints put up a fight. The Saints put up a fight. They played some good defense. They played physical defense, a lot more physical than I thought they were going to be. Um, Granted, the 49ers had their backup in there, Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is an efficient quarterback, and he got the job done, and San Francisco 49ers came out with a win. So that was an impressive game.
yeah, it was interesting to see Mac Jones in the Shanahan offense. So he had almost
Hmm.
280 yards passing, three
Hmm.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something
yeah. He's
because I
efficient.
think they're still missing Ayuk. So who got their
Hmm.
touchdown? So Jennings, McCaffrey, and
Hmm.
Farrell had their
Hmm.
touchdown catches. But uh, again, you can only play the teams, beat the teams that you have on your schedule. Luckily for the Niners, you have probably one of the worst teams in the league, the Saints. Spencer Rattler. I mean, say what you will
Spitzer.
about him.
Yeah,
He had, he had three
three,
touchdowns,
three touchdowns.
200
Exactly.
yards.
Exactly. And they got a decent defense, the 49ers still last I looked. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, and the Niners, they're still kind of figuring things out because they signed Purdy to a big contract, so they had to let go
Hmm.
of a lot of players. You have to sign young players, coach them up. But coaches, they're only really as good as the players ultimately.
Hmm.
And everybody's talking about having Salah as the defensive coordinator. It's in time it might be good, but for right now, I think this Niners defense is a little vulnerable. And I think when they play the Cardinals next week, I think it's going to be a good game. It should be kind of a back and forth because I still think Purdy's he's gonna miss a couple weeks. He's gonna be missing Kittles, and then you don't have that offensive firepower. So we'll see how Mac Jones does against this um, kind of revamped Cardinals defense. Hopefully, they get some of their players that were missing uh, in week 2 for the Cardinals. But the Saints, yeah, they have a tough defense. It's an aging defense, so that's kind of what they hang their hat on is that defense. Kamara to either run the ball or catch the ball. So he had almost 100 yards. So if Kamara had that many yards against this defense, this Niner defense, I'm kind of expecting the same success for the Cardinals, whether it's Connor or Benson. those two guys should be racking up some yards. Um,
Do we know where that Cardinals Niners game that is that game in Phoenix?
no, it's in San Francisco.
It is. Okay.
So yeah, it's weird because usually whoever does the schedule, they'll have the first game in San Francisco early, and then the last
Hmm.
game of the season will be
Hmm.
here,
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
in Glendale, and it's I think they kind of wanted to decide the
Switched around a little bit.
division, yeah. So we'll see what happens, but it's I look at this game and I had an invested interest because again I have a little side bet with one of the managers at work, so I was kind of hoping Saints would pull it out, but they just didn't have the firepower to
Yeah.
overtake the Niners.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because the Niners still they've got they're still tough in the trenches. So they're gonna run the ball down your throat, and they're gonna try to run the ball down your throat at least. And they're gonna try to control the ball. And with McCaffrey, or excuse me, not McCaffrey, but with Mac Jones, they can do that. So they should be an interesting. I'm looking forward to the Cardinals to beat them though next week. I am. I think they can go in there and take them.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think Cardinals
Yeah.
should win that game.
Yeah.
Okay, our next game, we're staying in the NFC West. We had the Seahawks versus the Steelers, or the team formerly known as the Steelers. I don't know who these guys are anymore. At the beginning of the season, they had a lot of hype around gathering all these aging players, Metcalf, Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even last year, that defense looked older, it looked a little vulnerable. So Seattle revamped um, their team with Sam Darnold, who actually, I mean, the Steelers made him look pretty good. So I mean, Sam Darnold almost had 300 yards passing, two touchdowns. He had two interceptions, so they got him two times. But your running back Walker for Seattle had over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Then you had your receiver Smith and Jigba had over 100 yards. Cup, we had a Cooper Cup sighting as well, 90 yards.
Coop.
So I don't, I didn't know really what to make of this Seattle team at the beginning of the year. I thought they were kind of fooling themselves by revamping their team and adding all these new players, but it seems to be working for them. So that defense, it looks to be legit. They did lose the first game of the season to the Niners at home, and now they just go to Pittsburgh and just kind of lay a beat down on the Steelers.
I
Do
love it.
you think the Steelers are in trouble?
Yes, I do. I think the Steelers are in trouble because, like you were saying, they have an aging defense. They've got an aging quarterback, and that aging quarterback has an offensive line that isn't what it used to be. I question whether or not this aging core. And I gotta have a little disclaimer here first. I've never been a big Aaron Rodgers fan anyway. That being said,
Why?
that being said, we'll talk about that later. That being said, I think he is getting on the older side, and he needs an offensive line that can hold up, especially up the middle. And there's been too many times where I've seen him like having to dink and get out of the way or do whatever he has to do. And the guy's still got arm talent. Don't get me wrong, but he can't move like he used to be able to move. And if he gets hit, I just have a feeling he's not going to last throughout the whole year. That being said, yeah, I think the Steelers are going to be in trouble later on in the season. Yeah, they're not as physical as they used to be, and in that division, it gets a little physical. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Seahawks. So I think the Seahawks could be good. I don't know if they're going to win this, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but they're playing good, strong ball, especially in the trenches.
Do you know who the backup quarterback for the Steelers is?
That's an excellent question. No, I don't.
It's Mason Rudolph. So
All right. That's what
I
I'm
think
talking about.
Tomlin's going to have his first losing season. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. I had kind of the selection of the Bengals to be a better team. just mainly because of that offense.
Yeah, but
Still haven't
Joe
seen it
though,
yet, but
yeah,
I
Joe got
think it's
hurt.
going to come around.
Yeah.
And then in this game, we also had an interesting play. We had a candidate for one of our categories, the Nathaniel Hackett Offensive Play of the Week. So on special teams, a Pittsburgh return man let the ball bounce into the end zone, and Seattle recovered it and scored a touchdown. Really put this game out of hand. So even without that touchdown, I mean, it just seemed like Seattle's going to win this game.
Yeah, yeah, no, I would agree with you. Though they had the mojo most of the game, and you would think the mojo goes with Aaron Rodgers, but not this time. I think his days of pulling that up are over. He may come up with a couple of wins here and there, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
feeling Pittsburgh this year.
Do you know how old Metcalf is? Is he
D,
older or
DK,
yeah?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. I was just wondering because he only had 3 receptions, 20 yards. He did have a touchdown, but usually players when they play their former team, they get a little bit extra. So
That's true.
I
Yeah,
was just wondering how old he was.
yeah, I don't think he's over 30. I don't think he's that old.
Yeah, I think
I'll have to
he's
look.
probably late 20s.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking here to see who the Steelers have
Oh, the
next week.
Steelers. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
they
am
got the
looking.
Patriots.
The Patriots are
So
looking good this year. The Patriots are. You never know. Where is that game? Is that in New England or is it
yeah, it's in
Pittsburgh?
New England.
Yeah, man. That's another tough one for them, but you can't say they're going to win that one. That's not your. Yeah, yeah. That
Not
Pittsburgh
your
team can.
daddy's Patriots.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly,
And
exactly. So
and then it's the Seahawks time to play the Seahawks turn to play the Saints. So
yeah, there
there you
you
go,
go.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm happy for them. That's good. Good for them.
Just
Good
pass
for
those
them.
Saints around in the NFC
That's
West.
what's good. Hey, if you need some help, you go to the Saints. That's for sure. That is for sure. These stats are something else. Pittsburgh, they're going back to Pittsburgh real quick. Their running game after that Seahawks, they did. Who was their top rusher? Let's see. The
for
Steelers.
for
Oh,
the
Walker at
Steelers.
105. Yeah, Walker at 105.
Oh, I got out of
No,
the.
no, wait, no. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, their biggest rusher at 48 yards rushing, Jalen Warren. He had
That,
48 yards rushing, and that's it. So that'll tell you right there about Pittsburgh.
yeah, yeah, they're aging. I think they were kind of grasping at straws, just
Yeah, I
trying to
mean, if they
sign all
don't,
those guys.
yeah, if they don't have a running game and they're gonna rely on a 40-plus-year-old quarterback, that's gonna be a problem.
Yep,
That's gonna be a problem.
I agree.
Okay, and the next game we have would be the Los Angeles Rams versus the Tennessee Titans. Los Angeles went into Tennessee and won. It was a good game. They 33 to 19. They pretty much Matt Stafford, that guy, he threw for 298 yards, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. The guy has still got it. I mean, granted, it's the Tennessee Titans and they're having a hard time this year, but the Rams did what they were supposed to do. And Adams had 106 yards and a TD receiving. Uh, I guess Tennessee just wasn't a match for him. Ward had 175 yards, but he's a rookie quarterback, and there's only so much he can do against a good team like Los Angeles. So, yeah, I didn't watch too much of this game, to be honest with you, but I'm always going to put my money on Matt Stafford versus the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I was the only reason I would watch the Rams Titans is just to see if Stafford was going to make it to the end of the game. Uh, he's got one foot in one foot in civilian life, broadcasting whatever he wants to do. I just don't think he's going to make it to the end of the season.
Oh, really? Okay. He's
Yeah,
up there with Rogers, you think?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
With his back issues, and then reading about how he was already um, looking for other opinions on how to treat his back. Yeah, and then having him kind of waver am I going to play this year or not? And then restructuring his contract. So, um, yeah, it's just for me watching the Rams. It's just kind of a Stafford watch. Is he
Yeah.
playing? Okay. Kyron Williams, he was an early MVP nominee. He, didn't really do too much, 66 yards. And then, yeah, we did have Devontae Adams. I hate Devontae Adams for his time with
He-
the Raiders. Him and Randy Moss trying to get traded. I don't go to Taco Bell anymore because of Devontae Adams.
that's
So,
serious, man.
yeah. And
Well,
then on the other side, you got that rookie quarterback. You got Ward.
Ward,
He had
yeah.
that interesting touchdown pass where you always hear commentators, "Don't throw the ball across your body." All right, Cam Ward's like, "Watch this."
Watch this. He's a
Throws
rookie.
across
He
his
doesn't know
body
any
for a
better.
touchdown,
Yeah,
for his first
yeah,
touchdown.
yeah, yeah.
And then I always forget Pollard's on this team, so I do like Pollard as a rusher, 90 yards, but not a whole lot going on in this game. So mainly going over it because this is an NFC West opponent. Um, I think really this team is dangerous because of McVay, and then those the kind of last few plays of Stafford. Um, so do you think am I being too hard on Stafford? Do you think
I
he's actually going to make it to the end of the year?
I think they've got a better offensive line than Pittsburgh, uh, LA, and I think they got a better coach. Uh, as far as offensive plays, as far as calling up offensive plays and keeping Matt Stafford healthy. Uh, you might be giving him a little. I don't think he's in the same category as Aaron Rodgers. No, I think he's in a better situation. Um, and he may last a little bit longer than Aaron Rodgers. Personally, I think he may last a little bit longer, and I think the Rams will be a little bit better than that. Personally, that's my opinion.
Fair point. Okay, next we're going to the NFC North. So Thursday night's game, Washington Green Bay. I know we had to work, so this game I thought was going to be better. I did pick Washington to win, even though I think Green Bay has a good shot to make the Super Bowl. First week, Green Bay really handled Detroit. Detroit should be a playoff team. They're in their division. Washington, they're battling in NFC East. They should make the playoffs, maybe even knock the Eagles out. Some people are picking them to finish first in the East. Green Bay handled both teams fairly well, and that is impressive. I think Green Bay is that early team that looks good. It's dominating um, teams that are supposed to make the playoffs, supposed to be very good teams. But the other thing, this Washington offense, it looked a little gimmicky at times with that read option, with some of their passing plays, and it just looked like Green Bay is just a better team, almost like they have better players, better coaching, just better. And that Parsons trade, I did mention earlier that it would kind of energize that team. It seems like it has. So I guess I have a question. Do you think that Green Bay is an early favorite for that Super Bowl team for a Super Bowl spot with the two teams that they beat that they kind of handled quite easily?
Sure, right now in September, and things change in the NFL every year as the year goes on. But right now in September, Green Bay is the team, one of the teams to beat in the NFC. Yeah, they're physical with that Micah Parsons. When they acquired Micah Parsons, it just took that defense to another level. They were kind of on the quiet side, but now they've just got the mojo and they're all fired up and they're flying all over the place, and that's gone over to the offense as well. You can tell the way they're coming off the ball, the offensive line, the way they're running the ball. They've just got a lot of confidence right now. And like I said, it's still September, second game of the year. Things change, ebb and flow of the season. But right now, Green Bay looks tough.
Yeah. Do you think so? Baseball has a few more games than football. They have a 162 game season. Football only has 17. And sometimes in baseball, teams peak too early. Do you
Yes.
think Green Bay can sustain this type of play for 15 more games?
I think it'll be tough for them to do that, saying what their schedule is going to be like. Pretty sure the NFC North plays. Uh, they have to go for the AFC East. I think they're playing. So, and all the teams in the NFC North. So, I mean, there's a tough schedule there. I question whether or not they're going to be this good throughout the whole year. They're great right now, but things change. So we'll see. And also, I'm kind of biased. I'm not a big Green Bay fan anyway. So I'd like to think that they would make it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we had a Jordan Love sighting, so he had almost 300 yards
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah. They're
Um,
looking confident.
Jacobs, the former Raider, 84 yards on a touchdown. So I wasn't too upset when the Raiders didn't re-sign Jacobs because I think that would have been his third contract. So I'm kind of waiting for Jacobs uh, to get injured or for his wheels to fall off. And then there's this tight end, Tucker Kraft, 124 yards
Hmm.
receiving and a
Yeah.
touchdown.
Yeah.
This guy looks like a beast.
He
He's
looks like a
like
beast.
McBride if McBride had yards and touchdowns.
Right. I think people are going to start teams are going to start focusing on him more because I think he's not a popular name, but now he is, of course. And I think teams are going to be starting to like make sure they account for him in the future.
Yeah, and I also heard or read a lot on online about how the coach for Washington he doesn't match up well with Shanahan coaches like the from the coaching tree. So,
Hmm.
but I think that's kind of you know looking at it from the perspective of like coaches coach and players play, but if you're a good coach, you have to have those good players. So I don't know
Oh, tell you,
if I think his name's Snyder, for the coach for the
Commanders.
Commanders. I did want to say Redskins again. I'm old. For me,
You and me both.
Washington was Redskins a lot longer than Commanders,
Yeah.
but I don't think he has his players in there yet. I don't know, but
Mhm.
that defense looked compared to that Packers offense, it looked slow. So
Yeah, I'd agree with
y-
that.
I- he's not out there tackling people. He's not out there, but I know Green Bay, they do some motion. They put receivers and running backs in positions that normally they wouldn't be there. So you're getting these kind of matchups.
Hmm.
Um, but that was interesting to watch as well. But I think just overall, it was just impressive to watch Green Bay just take this team apart like they did Detroit, and then it'll be interesting to see if they can sustain this for 15 games if they do play the NFC East. So it'll be interesting to see Packers Eagles matchup. That would be one I would like
Physical teams,
to watch.
very
Yes,
physical. Yeah, they're going to be beating each other up big time. Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
and it seems like um, Thursday night games they're getting better matchups.
Yeah, yeah,
Before it would
yeah.
be like
Just
I
any
mean
old
this year's
team. Yeah,
Saints versus
yeah.
whoever.
The Panthers. Yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to watch that. And I'm sure their
So
ratings felt
yeah,
that
I'd
too this
rather
year.
be at work anyway.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay. Oh, and let's see here. We have. I'm just looking to see who these teams play. So Commanders. Oh, they got my Raiders in
That should be a good game.
Washington.
Yeah, that should be a good game.
I mean, the Commanders should win.
Yeah,
Quite
I'd
honestly.
agree with that. I'd agree with that. Unless something crazy happens.
And then, this will be interesting just because the defense of the Browns is, supposed to be pretty good. You got
Not bad.
Jason Garrett there, collecting sacks every game. So you got Packers at Browns. But I look for the Packers to pull that one out
Oh,
too.
Packers. Oh, yeah.
And
Packers should
it
win
might
that game as
be
well.
a closer game because it's the Browns. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Packers,
But they'll come physical.
are the Packers going to play down to the level of the
Yeah.
Browns, and then it's going to be a physical game. Who knows how the
Any
weather's going to be over there in
any given
Cleveland?
Sunday, you never know. You never know.
Yep,
That's why they play the game. Yep.
yep. That's why they play the game.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. I believe it is time for the Bears Corner. And that's my job since I am a Chicagoan. I've been a Bears fan for my whole life. And this isn't that easy thing to do because they played the Minnesota Vikings last week. And there's been a lot of hype around the Bears with their new coach and their new players, and they were all ready to go, and it just didn't work out the way they wanted it. The Minnesota Vikings ended up winning that game 27-24. Um, the Bears, they were in control for, I'd say, the first maybe half of the game, and then the wheels fell off. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad calls, and it seems like they were like the same old Bears all over again. It was a little bit frustrating because there's just so much potential on that team, and they just shot themselves in the foot. They gave the game away for the most part. They let a rookie quarterback come in and do what he needed to do and win that game, and that was very disappointing, especially for a team that had so much potential. That
So,
being said,
question real quick.
yeah, sure.
So McCarthy, he was hurt his first year. Do you think that helped him prepare for this 2025 season?
I don't know about that. McCarthy seems like the kind of guy that you put him in there, he's gonna do exactly what it takes to win the game. It's not like he's gonna do more or he's gonna do less, especially as a rookie. I think that they could have put him in there last year, and with the team surrounding him, there his offensive line, that defense, his receivers, when healthy, that's a strong team. I think he would have been fine last year if they would have thrown him in there, to be honest with you.
So, to be honest, when this game was on live, I missed the first half, and I thought, "Oh, McCarthy does not look good," because that third quarter for him was a little shaky, and then they
Mhm.
ended up pulling out the game. But I had to go back, watch the game again, and I was impressed. Um, I think he did make some throws, and then in college, he was more known for a running quarterback. So when Minnesota in the offseason decided to go with McCarthy instead of Darnold, I was like, okay, I don't think that was a good move. I think you had a pretty good defense. You had a pretty good record, even though you had to go on the road and face a pretty good Rams team. I mean, there's no shame in losing to that Rams team in LA that almost beat
I'd agree with that.
the Eagles in Philadelphia. So I just think that the coach, I guess, for Minnesota, he does deserve some credit for putting McCarthy in situations to be successful.
I would
But
definitely agree.
in that third quarter, when I was watching it, and they started their comeback. They went to the running game. So I'm
Hmm.
always reminded. I mean, I'm old. You got to run the ball to win,
You
and
have to. You have to.
the it's always been said that the running game is a quarterback's best friend. So if the Vikings are going to run the ball, and which I think they will, they got pretty good receivers. McCarthy is a very athletic quarterback. He's going to get some yards. So I'm just looking. So he had actually 25 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's just rushing. So he only had 140 yards passing, two touchdowns. The Bears did get him for an interception. But in this game, uh, Santos, the kicker for the Bears, he did miss a field goal. So
That's yeah.
I mean, that ended up being the difference. Caleb Williams, this is kind of the first game that I saw Caleb since college. I think I in the SC game, I think they played Tulsa, and I did watch that game, and I really wasn't impressed with Caleb Williams. Um, but in this game, even though they lost, I was more impressed with how sneaky athletic Caleb Williams is. I mean, he was just outrunning defenders on his own. Like he just left them in the dust, and he had almost 60 yards rushing. He had a
He was their
touchdown.
leading rusher. He was their
Yeah,
leading rusher. That's a problem. That's a problem.
yeah. Historically, not awesome. So
Yeah.
Swift, he probably needs around 20 carries. And again, if you can run the ball, I think you're gonna set up the quarterback for success. Um, so, question: how long do you think, or how much of a leash is Ben Johnson gonna have in Chicago before the fans start turning on him?
Well, it depends on how many games. Honestly, I think
Or have they turned
uh,
on him already?
they're kind of starting to turn on him already. The bye, they've got an early bye this year. I think it's week 5. Their bye is so any games after that bye, that after that early bye, and they still keep playing like this, it's going to be a problem. The problem, well, a big problem with the Bears is they're not strong in the trenches, either offensive side or defensive side. They went out and they got like a new center and they got Joe Thuney at guard and they got Jonah Jackson another guard. Jonah Jackson's been playing like garbage
Who's
lately.
that number 55 on defense? It's like oh my or
Oh
Ochin.
yeah. Oh Daniel or oh
Oh
Dang.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, 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 yeah.
the whole game I was like, oh dang.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They got him from the Colts, and he's been playing decent. He's been playing decent, but they're just getting killed on the running game. They're getting ran over, and they can't run the ball. You're not going to win in the NFL if you're getting ran on and can't run the ball. You're just not going to win. It's just not going to happen. You have to do those two things. And until the Bears can do that, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off this year or not, but until they can do that, they're going to have a problem.
So we have a double dosage of Bears Corner this
Oh yeah.
week, and we're just
Oh
gonna
yeah.
rip the band-aid off.
Let's keep it going. Versus Detroit. This was
What happened?
Detroit had something to prove. Detroit was pissed off at Ben Johnson because he went to the Bears, and they've been going at it back and forth in the media ever since that happened. They wanted to prove a point to Ben Johnson that Ben Johnson wasn't the reason why they were so good last year, and they did it. They took it to the Bears. The Bears, like I said, they don't have a running game and they can't stop the run. Those are two things that you have to do to be able to play ball. And there's just so many penalties, so many stupid shoot yourself in the foot fucking penalties. Since I can swear on this, it's just, it's out of hand. So yeah, the dysfunction in that team is gonna be the reason why they lose. And until they get over that dysfunction, until they get a little bit more physical in the trenches, in the front and on the defense, they're not going to be able to do much. Detroit just took it to them in all facets of the game tonight. Caleb Williams looked decent. It was not Caleb Williams' fault. Him and Roma Dunze had a great game. Roma Dunze had 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards receiving. Great game. But the rest, I mean, where is your new tight end? Colston Loveland. Didn't see him at all. Didn't see any of the second round picks that the Bears got this year. All those guys were either not playing or hurt. The third round pick from the year before that, he's not playing. So there's a lot of picks that aren't in there. Their starting cornerback is out. Their two best cornerbacks, as a matter of fact, they were out of the game. They've got a lot of people hurt. It's a lot of dysfunction going on with the Bears right now, and it's not going to get any better until they get these injuries taken care of and they just start getting more discipline. They got to get more discipline in the trenches. They got to learn how to block and they got to learn how to stop the run. Plain and simple.
So Colston Loveland had as many receptions as I had today. Zero.
Exactly. Colson, yeah, that's your
Do,
first round draft choice. First round draft
do
choices
you
should
do
be
you think he
seen.
was a reach? Because
No,
I
I don't
heard
think he's a,
some people were saying he was a reach.
yeah, I hear you. I don't think he's a reach. I think tight end is one of the harder positions to learn because you're blocking and you're receiving, you're doing a bunch of different things. But at the same time, you're a first round pick, man. You got to get out there. I know Tyler Warren. I saw him catching the ball today. So I don't think they're putting him in the right positions to do what he has to do. I think there's just so much dysfunction right now. He can't shine like the way he should shine. There's just too much dysfunction going on right now.
Yeah, so Caleb Williams, 200 passing yards, two
And
touchdowns. The Lions defense got him for an interception. And then Badgett played or
yeah,
Bagnett.
uh,
Did
Bajent.
Bajent. So
Yeah,
did Williams get hurt?
I think they just took him out because they were getting smoked.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's no
okay.
reason to keep him in there if you're getting smoked, and there's no reason you're going to win the game. Just take him out and make sure he doesn't get hurt, and put the backup in there. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
So just looking at Goff's stats, so he had over 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. I think
Yeah,
he's one of those. This is one of those games where a player kind of took it personal, like Ben Johnson getting a lot of credit for what the players do.
it's something to
Again,
prove.
players play, coaches coach, and you're only a really good coach if you have really good players. So Dan, I don't think Dan Campbell's a better coach than Ben Johnson. I
No,
actually think it's going to take time for Ben Johnson to kind of coach up this team, install his offense, and even get the players that he wants in this offense because maybe he doesn't have exactly the
I
guys
would agree
yet
with
that he
that.
wants. Um, Amon St. Brown, dang, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
So,
Yeah, we had. Yeah,
Jamison Williams, over 100 yards, receiving a touchdown. So, I mean, they really um, lit
the
up.
Bears had two of their top corners out. They had Jalen Johnson out, and Gordon was out as well. So you got your two top corners out playing the Detroit Lions with those receivers running all over the place. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
problem all day long.
So, do you? I know we talked about the Packers already, and they played the Lions. Do you think that Green Bay's dominance was mainly because it was the first game of the season, or do you think uh, the Lions Packers they're a little more even this year? Because I know last year the Lions were a better team. I think the Lions beat them twice, and it was
Yeah,
a little more dominant than usual. And now this year you got the Packers returning the favor, the first
yeah.
game
I think it
at
was.
least.
Yeah, I think it was first game. You got to remember the Detroit Lions. They have two new coordinators on the offense and defensive side, so those guys were just getting their chops wet. Um, Green Bay, yeah, the whole Micah Parsons thing, him coming in and they were all charged up. There were so many factors in that game. I think when they play again, it'll be a lot better game. Detroit and Green Bay. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit different when they play next time.
Okay, and then let's see. I'm just looking to see who the Bears, and then again the Bears. It was a short week for them, so Bears Cowboys Chicago.
Bears Cowboys. I question that too after watching the Cowboys play today. Should be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. At the beginning of the season, I had the Bears winning that game. Now, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I can see the Bears actually pulling this one out because I mean I think the Cowboys gave up 30 points to the Giants today, so I think it'll be even. It's in Chicago. I
Yeah.
Cowboys by maybe 3. That kicker might be the difference for the Cowboys. I forgot Opry, whatever. He's going to kick
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
60-yarder to win the game, whatever.
He's a better kicker than Cairo Santos, that's for sure. So, yeah.
Touche.
All right. I guess we're moving on to the NFC East. A couple of games out there. We have the Giants going to Dallas to play the Cowboys, and the Cowboys pulled that one off. That was a good game. those guys are throwing the ball all over the place. Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards with 3 touchdowns. That's insane. And I'm pretty sure um the Dallas they threw for a bunch of yards as well. So I mean, let's see here. What was that?
Yeah, Dak had
361
360.
yards. 361. They were throwing the ball all over the place. The Giants impressed me. I almost thought they were going to pull this game off. I before the game started, I had the Cowboys all day long, but the Giants with that defense and Russell Wilson just throwing the ball all over the place, I was impressed. It was an entertaining game. Um, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, I thought he had that one interception at the wrong time. It seems like he's always good for one interception in the game. I don't understand that. He'll throw for 360 plus yards, but he's got that Jameis Winston thing. Every now and then he'll just throw that pick at the wrong time and it'll screw you up. But they ended up pulling this one out anyway. Um, I don't have much faith in the Cowboys later on because they still have to go against the Eagles and the Commanders. But this was a game they really needed, and I think the Giants are going to be one of those teams later on in the season that they're going to start getting better.
Yeah, this is a game. So Sunday morning, my wife wanted to go eat. So we're at Snooze, and this was a game that was on. And the thing that caught my attention, the Giants have this lineman, Hudson, number
Mhm.
55. He must have had like 5 penalties in like one drive. And this
Yeah.
guy, I don't know what, again, the sound wasn't on. So it looked like he had a couple of false starts, maybe like unnecessary roughness. And then they showed the coach, Dable, like mouthing,
Austin,
like,
I think I saw that. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I think, we were having a hard time finding a nominee for the Jizzled Player of the Week. So I think
Oh, there you
I think I may have found one in Hudson,
go.
but
All right.
this, this game was defense optional. Um, I don't really expect a lot from the Giants. It's just mainly on the defensive side. I've been reading that the defense was supposed to be pretty good, but if you're
That's what I
giving up
thought
40
too.
points, it's you got to go back and kind of look at what you have there. For you ASU fans, there was a Scatterboo sighting. I knew in college, I was kind of like, who does Scatterboo? What would be his comp? And the only player that I could think of was Christian McCaffrey, the running back for the Niners. And now seeing Scatterboo in an NFL jersey, I was like, wow, he does look like just like a thicker Christian McCaffrey. And I
With no
think,
burst though.
yeah, Scatterboo's more of like a battering ram. He's almost like a real athletic fullback, like back
Yeah,
in the day, these
yeah.
bigger
Where
guys that would
McCaffrey's
block for
got
running
that
backs.
burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Wilson, again, he was going back to his Seahawk days, just kind of winging it all over the place. Like you already brought up Neighbors, and then this other wide receiver, Robinson, he had over 100
Mhm.
yards, 140
Yeah.
yards receiving. And then after that, um, it's really not much. Cowboys, was it worth it to trade for Pickens? I mean, he had almost 70 yards, a touchdown. I don't know.
They could have got that out of
So
a rookie, but okay.
yeah, so the Cowboys, they trade Parsons. I don't know this is all Jerry Jones, and then they trade for Pickens. So, and I kind of see how fan bases can lose faith in their owners because I did it when Al Davis with the Raiders. He kind of was the GM slash owner, and it kind of set back the Raiders almost a decade with all the moves he was making. So I just think that the Cowboys, even though they won this game, it almost felt like a loss because the Giants have two journeyman quarterbacks. They got a rookie quarterback in the waiting, and then the Cowboys, they're supposed to have a quarterback already. They got Dak Prescott. They were supposed to have this defense, but they couldn't sign Parsons. They couldn't keep that defense together. So I don't know what what to expect for this Cowboys team. You can't go 500 anymore in the NFL, so I'm leaning more towards like a 7-9 type of season for them, and or 8-9. And I don't know. I'm not looking forward to um, the Cowboys making the playoffs. But for the Giants, when do you think they're going to switch to dart? Because I think they're probably going to do it
I
sooner rather
don't
than later.
I don't know. You know, I personally think that it would be great if he had the time just to like sit and watch because I mean, especially for the first especially for the first half of the season, they are not functional yet. They're not a functional team. And you just throw a rookie back there, it's not going to make anything better. I think you got to give the Giants a little bit of time to get their act together, offensive line, their defense, everything, get everything together, then maybe throw Dart in there. But right now, you need somebody who can like pull your ass out of the fire, and that's Russell Wilson right now. He's the I mean, yeah, you need a veteran back there for the time being until they get right. Yeah, and I'm not convinced about Brian Dable either as a coach, to be honest with you. So I don't know if you
No,
want to
so
stick him out there.
I was just thinking when you were talking right now, like if Dable really wants out, he's going to put Jameson in and just accelerate the process.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like,
Yeah.
I've had
Hey,
it. Get me out of here.
but at least it'll be entertaining though with Jameis in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I do think they're gonna go to Dart and try to see what he's capable of. But I do have one more question because this was an entertaining game. I know. I think it was Chris Haynes, the guy that does Red Zone. He was talking about yeah, because Giants Cowboys used to be prime time and now it's not, and they
Mm,
had a
mm.
really good game. But I just think there just wasn't any defense in this game.
No,
Who
no.
gets fired first? Dayball with the Giants or McDaniel with the Dolphins?
Uh, Dable. I think Dable would get fired before. Yeah, because at least McDonald or at least Miami's had a little bit of success under Daniels, right?
Yeah, the only problem is they really never beat anybody. They beat the sub 500 teams, but I think all the
Yeah.
playoff teams they lost.
Okay. Yeah, I still go with Dable. I just because it's New York and New York's a harder place to do anything in. So yeah, New York. Yeah.
Yeah, just I always said I'd like McDaniels for offensive coordinator of the Raiders, so I always say
Yeah.
McDaniels, come on over, come to the dark side.
You want to be, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Because also there was so much talk about him being one of the young rising coaches. You remember all that talk a couple years back. I don't think they're going to give up on him just yet. I think Dable has a tougher shot in New York. Just the New York media, New York, yeah, New Yorkers in general. Yeah, New York.
I agree.
And next game we have on the schedule is what some people will call the game of the week. Philadelphia going into Kansas City. The two powerhouses playing. That was a really good game. I enjoyed that. That was really physical. I appreciated. I didn't think I initially I thought the Eagles were going to go in and win, even though it's the Chiefs and they're strong. But the Chiefs, they were just as physical as the Eagles were today. Their running game was strong. They were both running back and forth. Defense was good. I was impressed. That was a really good game, and it was kind of refreshing after watching the Bears game to see a functional football game with not so many penalties, and these guys knew what they were doing. Um, you could easily see these two teams in the Super Bowl at the end of the year, even though the Chiefs are having their issues right now and they're 0-2. I hear you, but still, I don't expect the Chiefs to remain with a bad with the bad record for long. I think they're going to come back and just be the Chiefs. So and just give the Chiefs a little time; they'll be back.
Yeah, this game had kind of that old school type of um, I don't say playoff game, but it's just two teams that know each other.
Yeah,
So it was a matchup of the Super Bowl. Um, let's see here, Mr. Taylor Swift. What did he do? 61
yeah,
yards. And then they had that kind of weird play. Chiefs were driving uh, to I think it was either to take the lead with a touchdown or
yes,
tie it up,
it
and
was take the lead. Yeah,
the Eagles ended up with an interception, and then they score on the drive, so they kind of flipped that score on the Chiefs, and that's what ultimately won the game.
that
But
was on Kelsey too. I thought that bounced off of Kelsey. I could have swore it did, but yeah.
yeah, so I just think that the Eagles, with that defense, and then with also Barkley, they're just they're a tough out. So defense, there's a saying, defense travels, and then also the running game. If you're able to keep uh, the opponent's defense on the field, wear them down with the running game, and then also chewing up clock, that's what the recipe is for this Philly team because uh, the Eagles. So Hurts, he only had barely 100 yards passing, uh, and they kind of barely eke out this win. Mahomes, uh, it's getting tougher for I think for the Chiefs to win games, and I think they're just a little more vulnerable because of how their team is structured. You maxed out Mahomes, you maxed out Chris Jones on defense. And I was surprised that they did that, that they actually had two players that they were able to do that with.
Hmm.
And you have to kind of remake the rest of your roster with rookies, veterans, and that's tough to do. So,
It's a tough thing to do. They had to get rid of Joe Thuney, the
yeah.
guard. That's just one piece right there. Just little pieces get taken away, and it'll catch up with you.
Well, didn't he go to Chicago, Tooney?
Yes, he did. Yes,
Tooney?
he did. Yes, he did.
So, yeah, even though you have probably the best quarterback uh, right in the game right now in Mahomes, it's still tough to win those games, especially against top-notch teams like the Eagles. So, again, I always look at, is Andy Reid less of a coach than Nick Sirianni? I mean, you would still say Reid is a really good offensive coach. I've read some articles that he's the best coach. In a couple of articles, he was the best coach in the league. Um, I like Spagnola, the defensive coordinator. I've liked him since he was the Giants defensive coordinator. He
Hmm.
was he was the coordinator for the Giants when they beat the Patriots, the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I just like his defenses, even though he's on a rival of mine. I do respect him, um, but it's just tough for this Chiefs team the way it's constructed to beat this Eagles team because I think the
Yeah,
Eagles just match up so well on defense, especially on the
they're
defensive line. They just cause
they're
havoc
so
for
physical.
Mahomes.
They're
Yep.
they're so physical. They're on both sides of the ball. They're so physical. They're just like the team you don't want to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Mahomes, 187 yards passing. Didn't really didn't have his Mahomes game. I don't remember him having like a special play. I think the first week he was doing like matrix stuff. This
Mm.
game he's just kind of running for his life.
Yeah.
The Eagles defense
Exactly.
did get up for that interception. Uh, oh, he also had that play where he ran over it. Mahomes ran over a defensive back. It's not really something you want to see your quarterback do, but
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that.
yeah. So it. I think this game just comes down to players on the field, the talent that's there. and it's going the Eagles' way. So
Yeah,
if
I
these
agree.
teams were to meet in the Super Bowl, I mean, I think the Chiefs would probably have to add, um, a player or two on offense and defense.
Oh, geez,
Uh,
yeah.
and then I think Worthy was still out for the Chiefs. I'm just looking at the stats real quick. So yeah, I don't see Worthy in here. He dislocated his shoulder last week. Um, and then the running game didn't
It's
really help.
non-existent.
I mean,
Yeah,
geez, I just looked at this. Mahomes had 66 yards rushing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he
exactly.
that's
Yeah, he
that's
was
not a
their leading
recipe you
rusher.
want.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not. And and,
Uh,
and and the thing is, if Mahomes gets hurt, the Chiefs are done. If someone like Jalen Hurts gets hurt, I could see them still winning games. You know what I mean? Because their team's built differently. But yeah, the Chiefs, if Mahomes goes down, their season is just over.
yeah, and I think it would be easier for the Eagles to kind of sustain what they have if Hurts goes down. I don't know who
Yeah,
their
definitely.
backup is, but
Yeah, but they would still play the same brand of ball though. It
yeah,
would be hard to play the same brand of ball with Mahomes down.
yeah, because you still got that defense. You got
Yeah,
Barkley jumping
yeah,
over players,
yeah,
doing
exactly,
Barkley things.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay, now we're going into our ass kicking segment. So we have Cleveland, Baltimore, and Buffalo Jets. So
Yeah,
Cleveland,
got the felt
Baltimore.
out.
I actually had the Browns to win in our pick'em league, so I was going with
Really?
kind of the upset win. But if
Okay.
I told you, question. So if I told you Derrick Henry had 23 yards rushing, would you think the Ravens lost this game?
No, I would.
You would
Yeah.
think they still pulled it out. Okay,
Well, no, not really. I mean, 23, you would think something was wrong or, yeah, something's up. Something's weird about that. Yeah.
something is wrong. So this game we're calling it the ass kicking because I mean, eh, one of your better players doesn't even show up, and you win 41-17. Lamar Jackson had 4 passing touchdowns. It just seemed like the Browns didn't really show up, and it's surprising because this is a division game. Usually, AFC North, the teams play each other pretty tight. I think last year the Browns did get the Ravens one game. So again, you have a player playing his former team, Joe Flacco, former quarterback for the Ravens. Didn't really show up. He had under 200 yards passing, a touchdown, got him for an interception. The rookie Judkins, I think this was his first week playing since he was holding out. 61 yards rushing. Not a whole lot of offense going on. Thank God this wasn't in Cleveland. At least the Ravens got to see a really good game.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I think the Ravens are just so physical, and the Browns just don't have it this year. The Browns have typically been a physical team, but they just don't have it this year, man. They just don't have the defense or the running game. It's not there. It's non-existent. I'm worried about them this year. It could be tough. It could be tough treading for them.
Yeah, they had a play that I was. It's kind of a nominee for the Nathaniel Hackett Offensive Play of the Week.
Oh,
So
okay.
you had the Browns driving. They were in the red zone. Humphrey, I think he's a quarter for the Ravens. He caught the ball, and it looked like he was trying to kind of toss it behind him to like keep it in bounds because he was going out of bounds. And it actually it did work out for him because Tillman of the Browns was in the back of the end zone and caught it for a touchdown. And it's just the way the Browns drew it up.
It's another dysfunctional team right there. That's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. Jerry Judy had 51 yards in that game. 51 yards. Yeah, they've got more problems. That's unbelievable, though. Derrick Henry only 23 yards. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, and the second half of our ass kicking game was Buffalo Jets, and this game wasn't even close. They were really only mentioning it because Allen had to leave the game. I think he hurt his nose. I think they said it was just a bloody nose, but 30-10.
Yeah.
Fields ended up having to leave the game. I think he had a concussion. So we had a Trubisky sighting. Mitchell
Yeah.
Trubisky, 32 yards passing. Um, I guess this is a James Cook game, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they relied on that, the running game. Let's see. I wonder who the. Okay, so Tyrod Taylor, famously for getting his lung punctured, I think when he was with the
Yeah.
Chargers. Oh my God, like Fields only had 27 yards passing.
That's
Taylor
so. Yeah, I got a question for you. I got a question for you. What do you think? How long do you think Justin Fields is going to stay starting quarterback for the Jets? You think he's going to do the whole year out?
Oh yeah, he's trying to get another contract. He's trying to do what Baker did, but Fields isn't Baker. Um,
Exactly. So you think he'll make it?
as he'll end up as a journeyman quarterback, so I think his ceiling, like the absolute best he can do, is oh, I forgot the Raiders' new quarterback. What's his name? He was a
Oh,
journeyman quarterback,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah. Gosh, I know you're talking about. Yes.
yeah, his name escapes me right now, but I think that's his ceiling. Like
Mm.
he'll bounce around several teams, and then he'll finally kind of figure something out and get on with a team that has a really good defense, uh, 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 and an offense that likes to run the ball, and that's how he's going to kind of make his name uh,
So,
in the
so
NFL.
a team like the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But the Raven, I mean, like Lamar Jackson would have to get hurt
Well,
in
yeah,
order for
yeah,
that
yeah,
to
of course.
happen. Yeah,
Well, yeah, of course. But a team like that, a team like
yeah,
the Eagles or the Ravens or somebody like that who can deal with or who has more to offer than just needs a quarterback to throw the ball all around the field. I agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So the quarterback I was thinking about is Geno Smith. So
that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
have you?
Thank you.
I know you don't like basketball, but have you've seen inside the NBA like Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith,
Hmm.
and
I
then
like
Jeff?
old basketball. I like
Yeah.
90s basketball. This new basketball is not basketball, but yes.
Well, Jeff Ross, the comedian who usually does the comedy roast, he was
Mm.
roasting them. So he he had this one for Kenny Smith, and he's like, Kenny Smith sounds like the name Charles Barkley gives the police when he gets pulled over. I mean, Geno Smith, it's kind of the
uh,
same thing. It's like
uh,
he's a journeyman quarterback, and unfortunately for my Raiders, he's an upgrade to what they had.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
so here's the
He's like in the
thing: I have
same
a
camp as
question for
Jameis
you.
Winston. Okay.
Yes. So Geno Smith last week had 360 yards passing. Do you think Fields can do that? He can
No,
go over
no,
300. Yeah. I mean, his
no,
ceiling
no.
would be Geno Smith.
Yeah. Fields, if Fields throws for 250 yards, that's a great day for him. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Him getting over 300 is yeah, yeah, it's like they're playing a high school team or something. That's the only way he's
Yeah.
getting 300 yards passing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something happened to the defense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got to be a high school team or a Division II college team or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Then maybe he gets 300 yards, but not against an NFL team. Nope, nope. All right, next game we got is Jacksonville, Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals ended up pulling this game out, but the quarterback in that one did get hurt. He is out. I don't know for how long. Did you hear how long he's going to be out for?
No, it's unknown. He's got
Joe
turf toe.
Burrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be a while.
Yeah.
But Browning came in and had a pretty good game. He threw for a couple touchdowns, but he threw a bunch of picks as well. But Cincinnati is so much better team than Jacksonville. They're still going to take that out every single time. But Trevor Lawrence, I heard, got into a little argument with his coach. Um, two interceptions, three touchdowns. I could see a little frustration, dysfunction going on in Jacksonville. They've got issues. When your coach is arguing with your quarterback in front of the whole nation, that's a problem. So, um, yeah, Jacksonville's going to have a problem throughout the year. But Cincinnati, hopefully Joe Burrow can come back and that turf toe won't last too long.
Yeah, so I did see the coach and Coach Cohen and Trevor Lawrence get into it on the sideline. I think it had to do with that drive where they went for it on fourth down. And then I think if they kicked that field goal, I think they would have been up because I think the Bengals actually scored after they stopped them to actually pull that one out. But
This game was relatively close. Yeah.
yeah, so this game I did have a little interest in because the Jaguars are my kind of uh, pick for the Super Bowl. But
Okay.
staying in the same division, I mean, I had the right division, just the wrong team. So it looks like the Colts, kind of that dark horse pick. The Bengals, I did like. I think I did pick them to win the division, but their offense still seems a little off. I was thinking this game was going to be kind of the game where they turn it around because they had a division opponent the first week, and then this week, Joey Covers gets hurt, and it's like, okay, it's turf toe, and that is like, it doesn't sound like a bad injury, but it's like one of the worst ones. And I think
It
Deion
could, you don't know how
Sanders,
long it's going to take.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Deion Sanders was saying, that's like one of the more painful injuries you can have, and you just
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen. And then one um, aspect of Joe Burrow's game is that he is sneaky athletic. So
Hmm.
even if he does come back, he's more going to be a passing quarterback than anything. But looking at the stats, Trevor Lawrence had 270 yards passing, three touchdowns. So I did like what Cohen was going to bring to that Jacksonville team, just some stability and then some offensive play calling that I guess it wasn't going to be the same as Peterson, even though they went for it on fourth down. I think they probably should have kicked the field goal on
Yes.
that last drive.
Yes.
Um, Edian, he's 71 yards passing. Um, Parker Washington, 76 yards receiving. So there wasn't, for the Jaguars, there wasn't really a whole lot going on. I almost expected them to pull this out once Burrow went down, but then Browning came in. He had the three interceptions, tried to give the game away, and the Jaguars couldn't finish it out.
And they could not contain Chase either. Jamar Chase, he was all over the place. So, I mean, even with the backup quarterback in there, what do you get? Like 160, yeah, 165 yards he got receiving. I mean, the guy, that's a stud in my mind. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it really became the Jamar Chase show after that because
Yeah.
they um let's see, rushing,
Nothing.
not really a whole lot going on there.
Nothing. Nothing. It was Jamar
So
Chase.
it was literally two
Hmm.
guys, Chase Brown and Jake Browning.
Yeah.
Jake
Yeah.
Browning only had
Yeah.
1 yard.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. So yeah, that team, yeah. Hopefully Joe will get back soon though. That's what yeah, they need that. Because that's another one of those teams they're not going to go far without their quarterback.
yeah, so I just want to see who the Jaguars play in week 3. So I don't see him in there, so they might have an early bye.
That's a really early buy.
Yeah, do you see him?
No, I
No,
don't.
I don't. So then the Bengals, though, they got the Vikings. So and that's an early game. So I
Mm.
guess the NFL's not really expecting too much out of the Bengals in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see
But
that.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow came back and played,
Oh yeah.
just
And
tried to tough it out.
yeah. Yeah. And plays like Joe Burrow. Yeah. Yeah. He is a stud. So we'll see. We will see.
Next game, we got Patriots Dolphins. Really, it's only worth mentioning this game because you have a rarity in this game, back to back returns, which is probably one of the more cool things to happen in sports. I could
I
just
wish I would have
imagine.
seen that.
I wish I would have been there in person, like
Yeah.
wearing a Patriots jersey, Dolphins fans talking shit after that first return touchdown.
And you know they were.
They take the lead, and then, okay, next kickoff, Patriots player returns it for a touchdown, and they take the lead and ultimately win the game. So it just would have been almost worth the price of admission. I mean, the price for games is um, sky high now. It's probably like, I don't know, $500 to go there and
Yeah,
watch it
no
in person.
doubt.
But that actually
No
would have
doubt it's
been
gonna be
worth it
somewhere.
to see that happen. Um, One interesting thing after Tua had a very bad first week, over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. The rushing game didn't really do a whole lot. Tyreek Hill had 100 yards. But the question is, do you think Tyreek Hill, his days are numbered in Miami?
Yes. Yes, I do. I think yeah, he seems like one of those guys that it doesn't take much for him not to be happy. I mean, he wants to be having the ball. He wants to be in front of the camera scoring touchdowns. If he's not doing that, the guy's not going to be happy. He's that diva wide receiver. Yeah, he's not going to be happy. So I could see
So,
that.
so if the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill for the couple of Super Bowls they lost. I think he was on the team that lost to the Bucks. But
Hmm.
would would they have beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill if the Chiefs had him?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, because I mean, anytime that guy touches the ball, he can score. So, I mean, it's hard to say no to somebody like that. You know what I mean? I mean, at any time. So, sure, it's possible, but the Eagles are such a physical team. I like to think that physicality beats that out. You constantly beat a team down, constantly punch them in the face, punch them in the face. You're going to win. I've always believed that. That's always been my ideology. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you have on the other side. If you can beat down the other team physically, you should be able to win the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only reason I bring that up is because similar to your analogy, if you're, say you're running the ball and you're just beating, a team down, if you have that long ball, it's almost like in basketball, there was a saying, the 3-point line
Hmm.
makes teams equal. And that's
Hmm.
what that extra dynamic on offense, Tyreek Hill brings that. And that's what the Chiefs had when they were coming up.
I
So I
could see that.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, I think if he was still on on the Chiefs, I think he would, um, the Chiefs would have won at least one more Super Bowl. But he goes to Miami. He says Tua is a better quarterback than Mahomes. The rest is kind of history.
yeah, it's
That
ridiculous.
if the Dolphins don't trade him this year, they're going to cut him because he makes way too much money, and the Dolphins aren't going to pay him, and he's starting to become a distraction. Um, the Patriots, I think it's one other thing about that game is when you had the back to backs and the Patriots player was going to score, you had Vrabel running with him. So he was actually he wasn't keeping pace, but you know
I hope not.
he was running up that sideline and he
Yeah.
was excited.
Dude brings
So
a lot of energy. Dude brings a lot of energy. I like that in him. I really do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the Drake May experience. I don't 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Um, I don't know. Maybe he just needs another wide receiver over there to kind of help him
Sure.
along. Because the Patriots were kind of a dark horse team. I was reading for some writers, um, and
I
then
agree. I think
just
they're gonna be better than people think. Yeah.
yeah, and then McDaniel's. I like him. I think he's a pretty good offensive mind. He's pretty good on Hard Knocks when it was the Dolphins' turn, and I want him on the Raiders team as an offensive coordinator, not so much as a coach.
Yeah, well, they say like teams take on the personality of their head coach. I think the Dolphins are just a little on the. I mean, sure, they've got the offensive mind and everything, but they're just a little on the soft side. I feel they're not like physical, and they've always been kind of soft, though. Now that I think about it, but especially under now, I think they're just a little bit of a soft team. They need to be more physical. They need that yeah that attitude. All righty, and we have the Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts in Indiana. The Colts ended up winning this one last minute. It's a pretty good game. There's a lot of scoring on this. Daniel Jones, the guy that comes out of nowhere. Was anybody thinking about Daniel Jones at the beginning of the year? I sure wasn't. But he threw for 316 yards, one TD, and I believe, is he 2-0?
Yeah, the Colts are 2-0 for
The
the
Colts
first
are
time
2-0
since
for the first time in it.
2009, I think.
That is insane to me. I would have never guessed the Colts would be this good with Daniel Jones, but here we are. Bo Nix threw for 206 yards, had three touchdowns and an interception. I still like Bo Nix. He played good ball, but Daniel Jones and the Colts, they may be the team that everyone looks at and says, okay, there's the Cinderella right there. They could do something this year. Um, and Tyler Warren, their tight end, the rookie, right? He had 79 yards. That's pretty good. These guys are playing good ball right now. I don't know what their schedule looks like for the rest of the year, but we may want to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, just looking at the stats, the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, 165 yards rushing. So sometimes you forget that he's on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
team.
yeah,
Um,
you do. That's
and I think that's what helps Daniel Jones. So again, the running game um, is the best friend of a quarterback, and I
and
think
time of possession. Yeah.
yep, and I think Daniel Jones, maybe his time with Minnesota, getting cut with the Giants or traded, and then you're just kind of like you see your career and go to different stops and you kind of pick things up and then you realize, oh, do I want to play in this league? Do I um, want to keep trying? Do I want to keep fighting? And it just seems like Daniel Jones with, his passing yards today, 300 yards, the Colts 0-2, maybe he's found a home here.
It
Um,
certainly seems like it. Yeah.
with Jonathan Taylor as well. I'm just trying to see who their receivers are. I mean, you got Pittman there. He's kind of the big name, but he only had 4 receptions for 40 yards.
Hmm.
Um, but it's always nice to see um, the Broncos lose because they're a, a rival for my team. Um, Bo Nix, he's kind of on the clock because he's an older quarterback, so he is in his second years, but he is a better quarterback. Um, more, I guess he's NFL ready. So they just I think they're on the right track. Denver is, but the Colts, I think they are kind of that new dark horse team. I know when we did our Super Bowl picks, I was just trying to eliminate the teams that should be in it. That are going to be good. They're going to be there, but there's usually a team or two that kind of bubbles up during the season. And I picked Jacksonville. It looks like it was the Colts that are going to challenge the Texans. The
I'd
Texans are
agree with that.
playing the Texans are playing Monday night, so they have to win in order to keep pace. Because Houston's already lost. So I mean, you can't be 0-2 and the Colts be 2-0. So
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. That's um, because the Texans are playing the Bucks. So I mean
Yeah, it's gonna be a
that's
good
going to
game.
be
It's gonna be a
yeah.
good game.
So I
Yeah.
mean you could be looking at a new um, division winner in the Colts already in week 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I have the Bucks winning. So it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. So the question is, do you see Daniel Jones being able to, I guess, be this? So let's just put it this way: do you see Daniel Jones being a 300-yard passer going forward in
No,
games? Yeah,
no, no, not 300 yards, but I think he'll get the job done and good enough for Indianapolis in that division to, make some noise.
yeah. I do think the Jaguars will still be there, and then you never know what divisions, what division play, because the teams really know each other, the players know each other, coaches,
Hmm.
you know, it's really hard to, um, I guess, strategize because you almost have to think outside the box and
Hmm.
or be really
Do
good at
something a little
something
different.
like running the ball.
Yeah.
So I think the Colts,
Yeah.
they do have that with Taylor, so they are going to be able to
Yes, they do.
run the ball. And
Offensive
if
line.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they do that, I think they can keep the Texans at bay, especially if they lose against the Bucks Monday Night Football. So Taylor, he had 25 carries. So I do like that number of carries for
Hmm.
Taylor. And then Colts benefiting from a silly penalty. Um, the NFL has some odd rules that I find. So the the last play of the game comes down to a field goal. Colts kicker Schrader, I think he's in his second year. He missed the field goal, but then the nose tackle for the Broncos, I guess, runs into the center for the Colts, and so you're not supposed to touch touch the center when you're playing tackle football and you're just constantly having collisions. But don't touch this guy on this play. It's
That's tough. Yeah, that is tough. That's a
so
big
yeah.
ask.
They refs call the penalty. They re-kick and Schrader makes the kick. So now they're 0-2. So, but it's always nice to see Peyton's face when they lose, and it's always nice to see the Broncos take one like that. So,
Game inches, yes. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I get that way sometimes.
okay, so now we're into our final segment. This is our three categories of the week. So the first one, the Nathaniel Hackett Offensive Play of the Game. So this is named after Nathaniel Hackett, former coach of the Broncos, former offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach with the Jets, friend of Aaron Rodgers. So we just named it after him. So we had a nominee in Ravens Browns, cornerback Humphrey. Looked like he caught the ball and tried to toss it back in bounds as he was going inbounds for one of his Ravens teammates to um, to run it back. But instead of a Ravens teammate, uh, Browns wide receiver Tillman was there to catch it and score a touchdown. Just the way they drew it up in
This is
Cleveland.
the way it was written up. Right
But
on.
but I'm gonna go with Seahawks Steelers. Even though it was a special teams play, you don't see this happen a lot on kickoffs. So the ball goes into the end zone and it's still live, and the Steelers return man just walks away from it. You would think that he would know it was a live ball. So Steeler or Seahawks recover, score a touchdown, just like you drew it up in Seattle. Special
Could you
teams
imagine?
touchdown.
Could you imagine what it's going to be like when they're watching the video or the tape on that, and how much garbage that guy's going to
I
get? Oh
wish
my
I
God.
wish that happened when the Steelers were on Hard Knocks, and I just want to see what Tomlin has to say.
You know, oh my God, they're going to be talking. Oh, that's going to be brutal. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
So did you have one, or were you just going to go with the Seahawks Steelers special
Yeah,
team
I'd go
snafu?
special team snafu. I've been beaten up on my Bears all night, so I was gonna like, I was gonna talk about how bad their defense was and about how they let like the Lions throw for 334 yards and five touchdowns. but we'll leave that for another time. I'm tired of beating up on my guys.
So our second category, subprime beef. So I got this from an article on MSN. It's about restaurants that use subprime beef. There was actually two restaurants that I frequent
Oh
on this
no.
list. Waterburger was one. It's
I
just the way they prepare their meat. It's not
uh
up to some standards as far as like antibiotics. And then of course Taco Bell. It's delicious, but they use
that's not
subprime
real.
beef.
Yeah. 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 I can taste that. I can
It's
taste.
not
That
real.
is
It's like the Bears
yeah.
defense. It's just
Yeah, it's like
there.
add water and yeah. Go ahead and eat.
So subprime beef. I'm gonna go with the Washington offense against the Packers Thursday night game. Wow, it just seemed like the Washington offense was really gimmicky. Last year they were pretty good. Um, I know Cliff Kingsbury's the offensive coordinator there now. Hopefully, I like Daniels, former ASU quarterback. Hopefully, with that good of a quarterback, they're able to kind of turn it around, and uh, partly because I picked the I picked the Commanders to unseat the Eagles, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But and then I also thought that Kingsbury would be a better offensive coordinator than a head
Mhm.
coach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Kingsbury is on the limit. He's a little limited. I question whether or not the Cardinals have the fortitude to last the whole year. We'll see about that. We will see about that. Um, I can always go back to my Bears on subprime beef and their defense, but like I said, I'm done beating up on them. So, yeah, we're just gonna leave
So,
that alone.
so you're gonna have Bears,
And Bears, I am so
all three
they
categories.
oh man, yeah, yeah, they've really hurt me. So yes, yes,
Okay,
I all three categories.
okay. So our final category, the Jizzled Player of the Week. So this is named after one Jizzle James. You might remember Edgerrin James,
That's right.
running back for
Oh, poor
the
kid.
Colts. His son goes by Jizzle. He used to be on the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball team and was kicked off. So now we have the Jizzled Player of the Week, somebody that gets themselves kicked out of the game or does something very wrong. So I was kind of thinking we didn't have one, and
No,
then
I can't think of one.
at breakfast this morning, they had the game on at this restaurant we were at, and I see Giants Cowboys, and Giants are driving, and number 55 Hudson, I don't know his first name. He commits like I don't know 5 turnovers in the game. He had several false starts. He had an unnecessary roughness, I think,
He's gonna
and
be
I think
bagging
another
groceries soon.
another penalty. And I think he was actually like a backup, so I don't know if he's even just a regular starter, but he you can see Coach Dable. I can't remember. I think they get the ball. They were in the red zone. I think they were within the 10-yard line, and then he had that unnecessary roughness, kicked him back outside. I think the red zone, and you could see Dable mouth, and he's saying, "Get him out of there! Get him out!" So our my Jizzle player of the week would be Hudson, the lineman for the Giants, maybe
Sounds
formerly
good.
of the Giants.
Yeah, exactly. If Dable has anything to do with about, yeah, yeah, I can see. And the seat's got to be getting warm for Dable too. So I'm sure he's gonna freak out anytime he sees something like that. Seat's got to be getting a little more for him.
Okay,
So we'll see.
so I did forget to mention so with the Bills. So and I was just thinking of this this past week. So you know how um, you had Tony Dungy with the Bucks, and
Hmm.
they were a really good team, playoff team. Never got
Hmm.
to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Uh, they replaced him with Gruden, kind of this offensive minded coach. They make a Super Bowl. They win it. Let's not mention who they won to to get the Super Bowl.
Why not? It was the Bears. It's been that kind of night. Let's just get it all out
No,
now.
it wasn't the Bears. They beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl
Okay.
too,
All
and
right.
it was against Gruden's former team that traded him. That still hurts. Uh, but my thought process was, what what how long does the coach for the Bills, McDermott, how much leeway does he have? I know they've made the playoffs a bunch of times. They can't get past the Chiefs. Even when they were an up and coming team, they couldn't kind of unseat the Patriots, even though that empire was kind of crumbling. And then it wasn't until the Patriots went away that the Bills are now, you know, the NFC East, AFC East favorites. So my question is, do you think if the Bills had an offensive coach, let's just say if they had like McVay from the Rams as the coach, do you think they would have made the Super Bowl last year?
Uh, uh, Possibly, sure, why not? But yeah, I don't know how long it would take for them to like. If you have a coach like McVay, you're gonna have to have like the players McVay needs to have. So it would take a little time for turnover. You couldn't just get McVay over their first year and have the team that they have in there and turn around and expect them to win a Super Bowl. It would take a little time for them to like adjust and get like the McVay type of players on the team. So I question that. I question that. And also I think the Bills coach is a pretty good coach. I think if the Bills let go of that coach, somebody would pick him up instantly. And you don't know if you're going to get another coach to replace him. Sure, if you could get a McVay, if you knew that for sure, okay. But do you know if you're going to get somebody like McVay? I don't know.
Or
I mean,
the young, you know, offensive
Ben, yeah,
genius
Ben,
coach.
yeah, like Ben Johnson or somebody like that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that
I
would
don't
have
know.
been. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you
I
think the
don't know. I mean,
Bills
look,
went after him after Ben Johnson? Did they kind
I'm
of
sure
at
everybody
least
went
take a
after Bill
flyer?
Johnson. Everybody looked at Ben Johnson because he was the hot commodity. But I mean, even I mean, look at Ben now. I mean, he's not doing great right now. You don't know what you're going to get when you know, go out and shoot for something else. And I think the Bills coach is really good. I don't know if I'd just give up on him right now. I think that would be a mistake personally.
Yeah, I just, I was just, I don't know why I even thought about it, but I was just
Hmm.
thinking how, there's that saying history repeats itself. And then I was just thinking about, you know, the Bucks, really good team with Dungy,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
made the Super Bowl.
yeah.
They
It's like
replace
that
him.
spark. Yeah,
Yeah. It's just,
it's like yeah,
would, you know, do the, does the Bills offense need some sort of structure other than just,
yeah,
hey, Josh, just, you know, we're gonna run you, or you're just gonna pass it. You're gonna look to pass. If it's not there, you're gonna run it, and it's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I was
I
just curious.
Yeah, I think that team is built like around Ja or around the quarterback and around like the city. I mean, you're playing in Buffalo in like December, you know. I mean, you're going to want to be a running team with a good defense. It's not, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, I just see Buffalo as one of those physical teams that beat you down and like can run the ball, and you got Josh Allen that does what he has to do and to win games. I don't know if you can change that around. I don't I can't even picture that. I can't even
Yeah,
picture them as like a Miami or somebody like that. I can't
yeah,
picture it.
yeah. It's just food for thought. And then
Yeah.
just the last thing, I did want to say this is the new Cardinals rivalry jersey.
Looking good,
So
man.
it
Looking
looks
good.
like uh, you know, a Cardinals, the white home jersey. Like, I just decided I'm going to paint a room and then wear my Cardinals
Yeah.
jersey, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to represent like a sandstorm. You know how we have our
Okay. And
Haboobs
yeah,
here,
yeah,
or
yeah,
Habibs, and
yeah,
then you could see it's the Tillman uh, jersey. And no, I'm not a sports bigamist Raiders fan, but I don't mind wearing a Tillman jersey.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
do the
cool.
same thing with baseball. Like baseball, the Diamondbacks have um, Jackie Robinson 42. So
Yeah,
I also wear
exactly.
that as well. So
Exactly. All the old school players that I appreciate, I have no problem sporting their stuff. I had no problem if, yeah, like a Terry Bradshaw, someone like that. I love
mhm.
those old throwback jerseys are cool. I have no problem wearing that stuff, except if they're Packers. That's out.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I saw at the
That's
restaurant?
never gonna happen.
This little girl, she must have been all of 3, had a little, Barry Sanders
Oh, that's
jersey. I
cool.
was like, "Oh, okay. Your dad
Yeah,
your dad
your
is
dad,
is a Lions
right?
fan."
Or your grandpa, Barry Sanders. That
Yeah,
might be grandpa going that stuff right there. But yeah, that's
pro
cool.
probably grandpa. So,
That's cool.
all right. So, did you have any thoughts on week 2, or are we
No,
done?
sir. I pretty much got all my thoughts out. Like I said, about my team and about my Phoenix team. I'm more on them than my home team right now, than the Chicago Bears. So, hey, we talked about everything I need to talk about today. Yes, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, no, I had the Bills coaching change thought, and then, just I was surprised I got my jersey so fast because I ordered it, I think, like, Thursday or Wednesday, I can't remember,
That's really good.
and they said, "Yeah, it's gonna be 1 day, and you're gonna get it." I'm
Wow.
like, "Oh, okay."
Nice. Nice. Well, I'm sure it's someplace right around the corner from your house. Make them
Yeah,
and sit them out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, thanks for joining us on week 2 of the Valley
Yes,
Sports
sir.
Podcast. I'm
It's
Z,
been fun.
and
I'm
he's
Grady
Grady,
from the West
and,
Side.
next week, week 3, hopefully, we'll have the triumvirate back, so McDreamy will hopefully join us. So,
McDreamy, we need him back here. Make the squad full.
alright. See you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.